Welcome to the Buick Outdoors Podcast. I'm your host, Sheldon Marion, and on this podcast, we dive deep into the outdoors. We discuss hunting and fishing techniques, give you tips and tricks, tell stories, and everything in between to help you enjoy the outdoors. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Buick Outdoors Podcast. If you're new here, my name is Sheldon Marion, and I'm your host. So this spring, we have been extremely busy. The last podcast, we were still out in bear camp, and since then, we've been on quite a few trips here so far. The spring and summer has been flying by. Out in bear camp, we ended up getting 3 bears down, and that's all filmed and up on YouTube now it's been up for a while now. But then since then, we've been doing quite a bit of traveling around and checking places out in the Peace region here. One place that we went to was Falls up Mile 95 Road. That's been a trip I've wanted to go on for quite a while, and for some reason I just haven't done it. So this year I said the hell with it. We're getting into the truck, going for a drive, and we're going to go check her out there finally. And it was definitely worth the drive. It's a bit of a drive. It's about 2.5 to 3 hours from Fort St. John to head up there. You're pretty well at the very end of Mile 95 Road. The trail to the falls is at kilometer 98, I believe, on the left-hand side. Pretty well if you get to the Crying Girl Recreation Site, the little campground along the Graham River, you've gone a couple miles too far. Turn around, head back up the road. You'll see the trail. It's just before one of the corners there when you're heading back up the road. And then after that, we headed out to the Tumbler Ridge Global Geopark, and we checked, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 places out there, and we checked out the dinosaur museum that they have in town. So that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, because of the COVID rules and stuff like that, some of the things were unavailable at the dinosaur museum, but now that everything's getting lifted and stuff, it'd be a much better experience heading in there. There's some interactive stuff that you can kind of play around with, but because COVID, we couldn't be touching things. But that was pretty neat. That was the first time that I've actually stayed in an RV park since I bought my first holiday trailer, which was in around 2012, I believe. The only reason why is because when we were there, it was right at the beginning of this crazy heat wave that we had. One of our last days is when it got really hot, like getting into the 40s. But for the most part, the first couple of days it was manageable. That's when we did our big hikes. Well, I call them a big hike when really it was a couple kilometers. Like we weren't doing anything big and extravagant, that's for sure. But that wasn't too bad, and we stayed there because just because of the heat wave coming and stuff. I didn't want to be camping somewhere without the AC being able to run, so we spent the 30 some odd bucks per night to stay there, pretty well just for the air conditioning unit, and it was definitely worth it in the end. It's 150 bucks or whatever, so it's no big deal for having an air conditioning unit during a heat wave. But while we were there, we went to Flatbed Cabin Pool Dinosaur Tracks, and that was, I think it's a 2-kilometer hike to go there and back, so it wasn't too bad. Pretty easy going. There's a couple of spots where there's some hills and stuff, but I mean, like, me and Shelby made it in there, so pretty sure almost anybody could get into there. It wasn't bad whatsoever. After that, we checked out Bear Hole Lake. The fishing wasn't too good, but with it being so hot too, and we were just fishing right from the shore there, I don't think anything was really gonna be hanging out around the shoreline there, because I think that day it was 30 34 or 36 degrees. Like it was just stupid hot. But I managed to catch one fish. Shelby didn't catch anything. I think she's still mad about that. And then after Bear Hole, we checked out Quality Falls, and that was another. That one is a lot easier to get to than Flatbed. You're walking on top of the kind of riverbanks the whole way in there, and then right at the very last little bit, there's a little bit that drops down to there's a picnic table and stuff, and then you're at the top of the waterfalls, and then there's a couple little switchbacks and stuff that you can hike down right to the base of the waterfalls, and it's really nice there. The water is extremely cold when we were there. It's definitely a glacier or spring-fed water. Put your toes in there for a few minutes, and yeah, they start to get pretty cold real quick. And then after Quality Falls, we went up the Sekunka Road, because I wanted to check out the Sekunka Falls, and also wanted to check out Hole in the Wall. But that was a 2-dayer. The first day we went in, we checked out Sekunka Falls, and then it got brutally hot, so we left. And then the second day, we went in there with my brother Blaine. He showed up, and we went pretty well to the end of the road to where Hole in the Wall is. That's at kilometer 50. Sekunka Falls is at 21, I believe. So it's not a bad drive whatsoever. And then with Sekunka Falls, there's a viewpoint on the right-hand side of the road. And when you're there, you can look down, you can see kind of the river and the valley and stuff. You can see the falls. But if you go another 400 meters up the road, on the right-hand side, there's another little pull out there. And there you can walk right down to the very base of the falls there. And the falls themselves are not impressive. You know, they're not a great big huge waterfall. But the amount of water that's going through there, and it's kind of like little tabletops, little drop downs and stuff. It's really neat, and it's another place that's worth the hike to get in there just to kind of see it and kind of hear the water and kind of, you know, whatever. It's a cool place. And then Hole in the Wall, when you get up to that one, it's right on the corner at kilometer 50 on the Sekunka Road. On the right-hand side, you'll see where it's coming out from underneath the road. But on the left-hand side is where the spring actually is. And that just goes through a big culvert under the road. But if you walk up there, it's really cool. It's one of those things where like you can see pictures of it and stuff, and it looks pretty neat. But until you're actually there, you don't really get the full kind of concept of it. Oh man, it's cool. You gotta go up there. The problem with Boulder Lake, or not Boulder Lake, Hole in the Wall, is the hike in there. It's only like 40 meters, so it's a long ways to drive up there, just to kind of hop out, walk up 40 meters, and look at it, and then hop back in your truck and leave. But if you're like me and you like kind of exploring around and kind of looking at stuff and picking up rocks and checking them out, it's pretty cool. Then while we were there, I took the GoPro and I put on a little selfie stick, and I shoved it right into the hole. But all those, they're all up on YouTube now, except for I think Hole in the Wall and Boulder Lake haven't been put up yet. Oh no, Sekunka Falls hasn't been up either. I'm a little ahead on videos. Usually I'm not this far ahead, but I'm kind of enjoying this. After Hole in the Wall, we went to Boulder Lake, and Boulder Lake, I can't remember the name of the road, but it was just a random spot. We were driving around. It was, I think, 39 to 41 degrees that day, and we were just looking for a place to spend some time. So we went to Hole in the Wall that day. We went to the creek that's at the very end of the road. We thought we'd just try fishing for a few minutes. Beautiful little creek. ice cold water. I went and I didn't really jump in it, but I laid in it, threw some water on me and cooled me off. And that was nice, but then it was just so hot that we didn't want to stick around there. Plus, we weren't catching any fish. And so yeah, we packed up and left, and then we tried going into what the heck's that big lake there? And that don't matter. It said the campground was full anyways, so we didn't go in there. Checked out Moose Lake. Again, campground was full. Every little spot on the rivers were full. And then I seen the sign for Boulder Lake on our way back into Tumbler Ridge. So we went in there, and that, I want to say that's about kilometer 17 or so on that road. And it's kind of tricky if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, but you end up coming to the very top of the hill, and there's a big gate for a compressor station, and on the right there's a pipeline, and it's a pretty good little hill. You wouldn't want to take a car down there, but a pickup makes it no problem. But you take your pickup down to the very bottom, and at the bottom there's a little spot, it's kind of like a parking lot I guess, where you can park. There's actually an outhouse there as well up on top of the hill. And then you'll see the little sign just tucked away in the trees saying Boulder Lake recreational site. And there's a little hiking trail into the far, what would that be? Far east side of the lake, I guess. And then there's another quad trail that'll bring you out onto the west side of the lake. We didn't take the quad trail, but there was people that took it in there. I don't know if it's shorter or longer than the other trail, but yeah, the hiking trail that we took in there, it's an easy walk. We walked in there just to kind of check it out. We had very low hopes for that place. We didn't bring anything in. Like, I didn't even bring my camera gear in there. And then once we got in there, it was like, wow. Beautiful little lake. Fish are jumping. Water's cold. Might as well try to fish while we're here. So then Shelby actually went back to the truck. She grabbed my camera gear for me. My fishing rod, fish hooks. And then all of her stuff too. And then we ended up fishing there for a couple of hours anyways. And the dogs were playing quite a bit. And yeah, it was a great time. I definitely want to head back into Boulder Lake. I don't know if I'll do it this year or if that's going to be next year's project. But I want to go in there with my tent and tent out for 2 or 3 days and just sit back, relax, and enjoy it out there, because it is a beautiful little lake. There's nothing special about it. There's no big mountain scenery or crystal clear, weird blue looking water or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, it's just a small little swampy lake that's kind of surrounded by kind of bedrock type stuff and swamp spruce and some pine, and I don't know, for some reason I just love it in there. I've only been in there once, but yeah, I'm definitely going back. That video, that'll be up here in another few weeks here yet too, but I screwed up on the video. I called it Boundary Lake instead of Boulder Lake, but oh well. Maybe people go to Boundary Lake instead of Boulder Lake. There'll be less people in there. Less competition. I'd feel bad if you went to Boundary Lake, though. There ain't nothing out there. That's a swamp. Oh, man. Another thing that we tried doing while we were out there is we tried to record a podcast. It was me, my brother Blaine, and the old woman Shelby there. And that just ended in a disaster. We had this white table, a little fold-up thing from Canadian Tire, and I don't know if it was just because it was so hot in the trailer or what, but the little mounts for the microphones, they wouldn't hold on the table. They just kept slipping and falling off and falling over. Then the AC would kick on for a bit, and then you couldn't hear anything, and then the breaker would pop. And then we tried to do it without the AC running, but it was like, by then it was in the evening, so it was starting to cool down, but like, cool down, it was still like 36 to 38 degrees inside the holiday trailer. So yeah, that didn't work too good. It took a while to get everything all set up, because that's the first time I tried doing it with more than one microphone. I had 3 set up, and I have to go through a different software that ends up kind of sending the audio from that software into my recording software. And oh yeah, it was a disaster right from the start. So we yeah, pretty well that didn't work. But at least I can say that I tried. And yeah, that's about all you can about all you can ask for there. This coming up week, we are going to be heading to the ocean again. So I am very excited about that. Didn't get to go last year because of all the COVID, and then it looked like we weren't going to be able to go this year, mainly because of COVID. Lots of things like Airbnbs and stuff, Dad stays in those, but because of the, I don't know, close quarters rules or whatever, they weren't allowed to be open, kind of a thing. And then there was travel restrictions within the province, so we probably weren't going to be able to go in there anyways. And then I think some places, just kind of in general, people were a bit arrogant when you traveled, so we just didn't want to deal with the drama at all, or the possible fines, and who knows what would have happened if things would have got worse, kind of thing. And yeah. But everything is slowly working out now, and restrictions are getting lifted, travel bans are getting lifted, people are all vaccinated and good to go. So yeah, we made plans to head out there. Today, actually, while I'm recording this, Dad's putting up pictures up on Facebook, being a bit of a peckerhead, in my opinion. He's just rubbing it in. They're catching a pile of halibut today and yesterday, and looked like Blaine caught a nice little coho, I think. But yeah, it'll be my turn here soon enough. And then this year, too, Shelby's going to be coming with me. So that's going to be nice. We got somebody lined up to watch the dogs. Actually, Blaine said he's going to watch the pups there, so Rocky can get reunited with old Macaroni there, his girlfriend, and they can have a week together. But yeah, it's going to be nice. Going to be going after halibut, salmon, crab, prawns. I bought them squid jigs. They're actually sitting in the mailbox in town, waiting for me to pick them up. So I'll grab them before heading back to work for a week here. And yeah, there should be quite a few videos coming up here soon. Last time we went there, I was still sort of kind of getting into YouTube, but now I'm taking it a lot more serious. So I'm hoping each one will be like a catch, clean, and cook type of video. And it'll be, you know, what was that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos. So yeah, that'll be alright. That'll take us well into September, and then in September I'm taking 3 weeks off again. So that's gonna be pretty nice. I don't know where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna hunt, other than chickens and bears. I still have a bear tag, and chickens, I just love hunting chickens. But when it comes to the moose, elk, and deer, I don't know what the deal is with that. No, I'm just kind of taking it day by day. I'll buy tags, and I got my hunting license and stuff, but I got very little hopes for it, to be honest with you. Like, I don't even have plans right now, other than I'm taking 3 weeks off, which I still have to book off. And other than that, I'm just gonna wing it, because I really do not know where to go. Places around the house here, they're still in rebound. There's not a lot of moose. There's a couple of deer. There's some elk, but not very much. man, and everything too. Like the places that I used to hunt, a lot of the is pretty well a gas field, but now prices have dropped and stuff like that. So mainly all the places I used to hunt and take my pickup into and the side by side and stuff, all those wells are shut in, getting abandoned and mothballed and stuff. So now you can't even take your pickup down most of them roads, and the places that you still can drive down, it seems like they're pretty well going in and logging it. So I'm kind of getting screwed from all angles around Buick, but that's all right. I have a big ass expensive holiday trailer for a reason, and a truck to tow it. So let's go somewhere. If you guys have any recommendations on where in the heck I should go, please let me know. Cause right now everything's up in the air. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, where I'm gonna go. I have an idea of where I want to go, but the problem is it's a very popular place, and you know I'm kind of antisocial. When I head out in the holiday trailer, hunting and fishing and stuff, I don't mind guests and stuff like that, but for the most part, I want to be by myself. That's just kind of how I am, how we've always really camped and stuff. Usually you head out to the middle of nowhere, find a flat spot, and unhook the trailer, and that's where you camp. Well, like I said about staying in an RV park, that's the first time I've stayed in an RV park since like 2013. Was it 2021? It's like 8 years or something. Like, it doesn't happen. It doesn't even cross my mind to go into an RV park, pay for camping. That, to me, that's insane to pay to park somewhere. But it is what it is. Can't really fight it, but we'll just go along with it and see what happens. We'll figure something out. And then this YouTube thing too, it's starting to take off pretty good. Last time I was talking there, kind of how my future plans are, and now, you know, it's still slowly, steady growing. Uh, Pretty well get 1 or 2 subscribers every day. We're at 710, I think, today, so we need like 290 more to go before we're eligible to get into the YouTube partnership program. And once we get that, then we can get monetized. We can start getting paid for this, which would be phenomenal. Uh, last September I started to take this pretty serious. Once I started to see some traction and stuff, and I started uploading every Friday, and I'm going to continue to do that every Friday at 7 a.m. New video goes up. The podcast, I kind of want to do it where it's maybe every second Monday, because with work I do a week on, week off. So the week that I'm off, I'll have a few days to get a podcast recorded and edited and then uploaded for Monday morning, kind of a thing. But we'll see here. If I can stay steady with these videos like I have been here in the last couple months, really, then a podcast every second Monday would be doable. But we will see. This is it's a great big huge learning curve. None of this comes with instructions. I basically spent a pile of money on a camera, microphones, computers, editing software, all this stuff, and I just hope that I make something enjoyable for people to listen to or to watch. If you are watching this on YouTube, right now is a perfect time for you to hit that subscribe button. We're so close to making her to that 1,000 subscribers that you can pretty well taste it now. So I'm getting pretty antsy about it. And then the future plans for this podcast, same thing. I'm just kind of winging it right now. I've mentioned possibly every second Monday putting one of these up, but for now I'm not going to make any promises. I'm just going to kind of do them when I can, or I just want to keep it fun. I don't want this to become a job. So even if it was one podcast per month, it kind of sucks for the guys and girls that like listening to podcasts, and you'll have to wait a month to listen to mine again. But I mean, it is what it is. It is it. It's one of those weird things where when you watch a YouTube video or listen to a podcast, it seems like it's a pretty cut and dry thing to do. You go out, you do something, you film it, you slap a video together, you put it on the internet. With a podcast, you sit down, you're talking to a microphone. Again, you quickly edit it up, slap it together, throw it on the internet, and there you go. But, there's more to it, and I'm still learning with the podcast, and I'm still learning with the YouTube videos too. You have to be able to kind of tell a story, keep people engaged, keep people watching or listening. Once you start getting bored or off topic or whatever, I do it too. I'll turn it off. If I'm watching somebody fish and then he starts talking about, I don't know, some other bullshit thing, I stop watching. So you have to be able to keep it fun, keep it entertaining, and then you also have to be a person that's worth watching. And it's weird to say that because I don't think I am worth watching, but some people out there think I am. I got a couple hundred subscribers, well, several hundred now, I can say, which is pretty cool. I never really thought I would be able to get to a point like this, to where I am actually making plans for the future around YouTube. Not making plans for the future around my job or future investments or anything crazy like that. I'm actively in my head thinking, okay, when this happens on YouTube, I can do this, or I can move to the next step, or I can, everything is take it in stages, right? Right now, I'm still at the I'm about one tier above the bottom. The bottom is I bought a camera and I kind of sort of hit record once in a while, and I sort of kind of threw something together that's sort of kind of worth watching. Where now I'm slowly kind of pinpointing my weaknesses, trying to fix things that I don't personally like, trying to get better at telling a story, but getting better at editing. I finally upgraded my editing software. I was using a free software called Shotcut, and for the most part, it worked great. It still works, but I want things to start being more professional, so I finally dished out the money and bought an actual real editing program. And yeah, still trying to figure that out. The last two videos that I edited up were on this Filmora. If you're watching it and it seems a little weird or shaky or something like that, or just kind of seems a little out of place, just have patience with me. It's new software and I'm learning it. It comes with instructions and all that good stuff, but I don't really read that. I watched a few videos on how to edit on there and stuff, and you write down a few notes here and there, but for the most part, you just gotta do it. You have to just kind of suck it up, do your do, you do you kind of thing. Figure out where your strong points are, where your weaknesses are, what works, what doesn't, what looks good, what looks bad. It's one of those things too, like you spend so much time filming and editing where you think this is worth gold. You put in sometimes days or weeks filming, and by the time you're done, you have a couple hundred hours of footage all knocked down to about a 10 to 15 minute video. And it's actually really hard to do because you're like, oh man, like I would love to have this little section in this video because it looks nice or it looks cool or whatever, but it doesn't quite fit to the story that you're trying to tell. And like, as weird as it sounds, like I'm starting to sound like some weird Hollywood producer type dimbat there or whatever, but it is what it is. If you're not, if you don't take this serious, and if you don't kind of take it to a professional level, then you'll never make it as a full-time YouTuber, which well, now I can say that I'm actually trying to do. I don't want to be, what are those Paul guys, Logan Paul or whatever. I don't want to be the next dude like that, but if I'm able to make enough money where I can just live my life, create videos, hunting, fishing, exploring, fossil hunting, traveling, whatever, I would be just happy as, I, I don't even know what you'd want to call it. I'd be pretty happy though, pretty happy and proud of being able to do it. And in this day and age too, it honestly, it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. Like if you have, say, 50,000 subscribers, which is a long ways away from where I am right now, but at 50,000 subscribers, you're getting noticed, and you're getting brand deals, and you're getting affiliate market deals, and you're getting sponsorships and stuff like that. So once I hit 50,000, I can get very serious about it. And once I hit probably about 100,000 subscribers, I'll probably be phoning the boss and quitting my job. Why not? If you can do a hobby or something that you love and get paid for it, man, jump on it. Why not? Especially this day and age with the internet and all that good stuff. Like, you're listening to a podcast right now. Eventually, one day, this might be a second income stream. My main one might be YouTube. Second might be affiliate marketing. Third, I might get paid to talking to a microphone like I am right now. It sounds crazy, but there's a lot of people out there in this world that make anywhere from whatever, $50 to a couple $1,000 per podcast. So I mean, like, even if you're only making $50 per podcast, if you put 4 of them out, $200 a month. That'll pay some bills. And all I gotta do, sit back and relax like I am right now, bottle of water, computer going, talk to a microphone, film it all, put it up. Hopefully somebody watches it and get paid. Hopefully one day I'll be sitting on my little trawler liveaboard boat somewhere on the coast in a nice little protected inlet or a little bay, or heck, even docked up somewhere. And this will be my evening relax time or whatever. Film in the morning, in the afternoon, and then in the evening, sit down, record a podcast of what we did throughout the week or whatever. Put it up on the internet and just enjoy life. Not enough people really enjoy their life, I don't think. Everybody works for a living, and they always say, when I retire, I'm going to do this. When I retire, I'm going to go there. And they save all their money. When they're 55, they have a heart attack and die. And they were 3 years away from retiring, and they didn't live at all. So this way, if I stick to this plan, I'll be able to live, work, and retire kind of all in the same package and just enjoy life. Have my woman with me, have my dogs with me, stay on the boat down south in nice weather for 6 or 7 months out of the year. The other months be summers, whatever, hauling the camper around. Start in May, go do the typical bear hunt. From there, who knows? Travel up north into the Yukon or Northwest Territories or something. Go out to, say, Stewart, check out the Bear Glacier and the Salmon Glacier. Once the salmon start running, may head out there to the, I can't remember what it's called, a little boardwalk anyways, where you can watch the grizzlies chew on some salmon and stuff and get that on film. That'd be a pretty cool little video to make. Either that or start traveling the Pine Pass. I don't know how many trips I've made through the Pine Pass where there's certain little bends in the river and stuff where you're like, oh, one of these days I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna fish here for even a day or two. I would love to be able to do that and have it my job. Go into Heart Lake with canoes or kayaks or whatever and fish there for a couple of days. Fish at Azawad Lake. Uh, you know, it's endless. And then once you get through the Pine Pass, heck, go down into the Shuswap areas or whatever and fish some of those lakes and rivers, or go and cruise around Vancouver Island. I would absolutely love to do like some crawfish trapping, or go shoot a wild turkey somewhere down southern BC. There's so much that a guy can do and look forward to. And if this is my job, I will get paid to film that stuff. Like, it sounds crazy that a guy can have this much fun and be successful at it, get paid to do it, and get paid well to do it. 10 years ago, if I said, hey, I want to become a YouTuber, I'd want to kick my own ass for being stupid. Now, it's well within the grasp, and I am on my way to getting those goals. It's just mind-boggling to me that every day I get closer and closer, and it's, I don't know, it's real humbling, to see kind of where I've come from, where I've been, and where I'm going. It's pretty cool. I've been given a lot of amazing opportunities, and this is just one more in the bucket. I'm already turning it into a business. I got the Buick Outdoors logo and the brand name. I think I might buy up a couple of website domains just to have them in my back pocket. It sounds kind of weird, but whatever. If you go on to, what the heck is it called? Maybe is it GoDaddy? Anyways, there's a place where you can check out the website domain names and see if they're available. And then if you can buy them for like $1 to $10 kind of a thing. So if I just do that, just whatever, $10, who cares? And then that way, if this does turn into a much bigger business and I want to start selling like merchandise and all that good stuff, I'll already have BuickOutdoors.ca or BuickOutdoors.com or whatever I call it, right? So in that way, I'm just kind of planning for the future. Plus, it's not a huge investment. Like, if it's $10, even if it's $10 a year, a flat of water is $10. Like, who cares about that? But yeah, and then affiliate marketing and brand deals and stuff. I already have it. It's weird because when you think about affiliate marketing, you always think of somebody with a big name or somebody who has like some actual reach. You know what I mean? With me, like, I'm just some weird redneck kid that lives in Buick that happens to have a YouTube channel called Buick Outdoors, and I scored a couple of affiliate marketing deals now, and like with one of them, I'm making money. It's a crazy thing to think that, by saying, hey, well, I'm wearing the pants right now, and I have little codes for you guys to use to get like 15% off, and I get a little chunk of change from that, and when I do, I put it right into a little bank account, and it just sits there, and every month it grows a little bit. It's like, I don't know, words can't really describe, like, it's all new to me, so like, it feels like I'm cheating. I wear some gear, I tell people whether it's good or it's bad. Northbound gear, I can honestly say it is good stuff. I like it. But, whatever. I'm not using this as a sales pitch whatsoever. If you want to buy it, go right ahead. I'll have a code for you guys in the description there if you want to check her out. If you buy it, awesome. Thank you. use my code, I get a little bit of money from it. It makes me even one more step closer to becoming full time with this. If you don't want to use the code, or if you just want me to go to hell, that's perfectly fine. I don't like pushing stuff onto people. Which it kind of holds me back a little bit, but at the same time, I want you to feel comfortable with watching the videos or listening to the podcasts and stuff. And yeah, hopefully within the next 5 years, uh, as crazy as it sounds, I'm already eyeing up boats. Anywhere between $80,000 all the way up to like $750,000. The $750,000 boat, though, that's window shopping. That's wishful thinking. That's going, if I ever win the lottery. You know what I mean? That's one of those boats. But the crazy thing is, like, if I do take this and go full time or whatever, like, I have my acreage up north here where I could keep it for when I'm living on the boat and just store my stuff here. It's pretty well half paid off already because I bought it when I was pretty young. But, I can have my acreage up north here. I can store my holiday trailers side by side, trailers, house, all my hunting gear and all that stuff. And then, pretty well October to about May, I live in the boat. Live in protected inlets, coves. Go fishing almost every day. Prawns, crab, halibut. Actually, that's one thing I'd have to do, is I'd have to look at the regulations to see what a guy can actually do during like the winter months. That might hold me back a little bit from some things, but I would still do it anyways. And with buying like a boat too, I was looking at houses and stuff, and for a lot of the houses down south that are anywhere near the ocean, you're looking at like $600,000 for an okay house. Like, it's definitely no big mansion or anything crazy like that. It's just like a basic kind of 3 or 4 bedroom house, 1 or 2 bathrooms, kind of a shitty driveway where I wouldn't be able to park my holiday trailer anyways. And yeah, they're like $500,000 to $600,000. Plus, on top of that, you have all your yearly taxes that you have to pay, your water bill, your utilities, internet, power, all that stuff. Where if I bought, say, like a $250,000 liveaboard yacht or trawler, it sounds like a ton of money for a boat. But you gotta think about how much boat you're getting with that much money. Like, you would have a floating house. And you wouldn't have your yearly taxes and all the bullshit that comes with owning a house down south. There's hits and misses to both. Because then when you're not on the boat too, you have to pay your what do they call it? Your mooring fees or your docking fees. But I mean, really, it's a lot of places you kind of pay per foot kind of a thing. So it would end up being probably a couple $100 per month. But when you think about it, it's really not that bad. Especially if you're living down south regardless. If you had a $500,000 place, I don't know what a mortgage is on that, but it would be pretty damn expensive. Plus, on top of that, you'd have to pay for somebody to upkeep your lawn when you're not there and stuff. I really don't see how it would be negative to own a boat instead of a house. Especially while I'm there, if I owned a house, I would spend 90% of my time on a boat on the ocean anyways. Which would be another major expense. Because if I was going to live on the coast and have a house there, I wouldn't have a 17-foot Lund, lake boat. I'd be buying a 22, 25 Kingfisher, or at least the 18-footer. You know what I mean? And that's another $100,000 to $150,000 boat. So on top of a $600,000 house, you'd have a $150,000 boat, which would bring you up to $750,000. And then you have the insurances on both and taxes, and the list just keeps going up and up and up. And the more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards just buying a boat, buying a nice boat where we can live on it, pull a little dinghy, well, you call it a dinghy or a little skiff with you, like a kind of a whatever, little Zodiac or something like that. And yeah, just spend time on the water, relax, pretty well stress free. I'm waiting on Starlink internet. That should be coming out. They said mid to late 2021 for my area here, and then they have future plans to make it so it's mobile, so you'll be able to take it with you on your boat, your RV, whatever. So that will be 100% the ticket for me. That way, it don't matter if I'm out in the middle of the bush in the holiday trailer, out hunting or picking berries or fishing or whatever. I'll have internet so I can continue to do this, continue to upload weekly, whether it's podcasts or the weekly videos and stuff. Don't want to miss any of those, because this is going to be my bread and butter one day. And then once I'm done that, if I'm hanging out at home or whatever, I can hook her up at home. And then come September-ish, maybe October, when it's time to head back to the coast and hop onto the boat, unplug her all, bring her down there, hook her up to the boat. We got internet in the middle of the ocean. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to that. I'm getting things kind of lined up. I'm window shopping already. Yeah, I'm getting, some days I get a little too ahead of myself, but it's going to work. I'm not going to take no for an answer. And hopefully within the next couple of years, I'll be able to look back on this video or on this podcast and kind of laugh at it and say, you son of a bitch, you did it. You made her. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to cut her off there. I want to thank you for listening. If you're listening on one of the podcast platforms there, give us a rating so we can rank up a little bit higher. If you're watching it on YouTube, make sure you like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching and listening to it all the way through. And yeah, guys, that's all for me. Catch you on the next one.